Heck yeah. Cutting off all that holiday fluff. I like it.
Exactly, yeah, getting rid of
Yeah,
all that junk.
I like it. Awesome stuff. And what is your intention for the new year?
My intention is actually to be more intentional.
Mm,
Yeah, that's what I set for myself to going forward. I want to like mean exactly what I say and do exactly what I say.
look at that. Awesome stuff, dude. That's pretty cool. Man, want to be a man of your word. That's what I heard.
Exactly.
Awesome. Let's go with man Cameron, the red background.
My win for today is I have stepped into my power. So today my big win is knowing how fucking awesome I am. Knowing how fucking awesome I am. So that's a big one. And then
Oh yeah,
for
write it down 100 times and repeat it to yourself 100 times. You need that.
that's all I've been saying all day. That's
Like
all I've
it.
been saying all day. But I'll do it. I'll show you a screen picture too. Because I'm a man of my word. And the intention for this year is to pay myself. And yeah, that's really, really, really important. And I'm going to
Yeah,
do it.
you're working super hard in your business and you deserve it.
Yeah, I do fucking deserve it. So
Love it.
that's what my intention is. So
I love it. Let's go with Marie. Cool. Give Marie some fire for doing the morning challenge this morning. Absolutely knocked it out the park. I love that. I got super hyped when I saw that. So why don't you mic yourself here, share your biggest win, and what is your biggest intention for the year?
Sorry, was that to me?
Oh, that was actually for Marie. Alexis,
Oh,
you'll be next. All right. But
Okay. Okay. I'm muted myself. Um, so yeah, just like with a stronger mindset. Yesterday when I went to bed, I had the resolve. So I just kind of primed my mind. This is what I'm going to do. It wasn't like a decision I was going to make when I was like, sleepy. I already had that intention the night before.
getting
So I kind
chills.
of
I
like,
love that.
yeah. So that way I didn't have to make a decision that morning.
Mhm.
So my intention for the year is to have more of a positive mindset. It was kind of like a rough year. Everything was out of my control last year. So I'm trying to focus more on creating positivity versus positivity coming to me. Sometimes, we're responsible to create that as well. Um, because, people can bring some positivity, but, we have to create it at the same time. It's a give and take. So going to be focusing on that. And I feel like with that, everything will have a cascading effect and we'll have that positivity to put into my health with my goals.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. Super happy to have you.
Thank
Let's
you.
go. Super excited to be on the road. Let's go, Alexis. Funny enough, funny story is when she won the watch, the Fitbit watch for crushing the December challenge. And I sent it to her. I order stuff from Amazon all the time, and I didn't realize her address was still on my Amazon account. And I'm like, "Where's my stuff? Like, where's I ordered?" And it actually went to Alexis's house. That's the funny part. It's a good thing we live in the same city. And the
I'm
part
pretty.
that I needed doesn't work anyway, so
Oh
whatever. But
no,
let's start with you. What is your biggest win and what is your intention for the year?
that was funny. Just to carry on, I said to my husband, "What is this?" He said, "Well, it's a C2C." And I said, "Oh," he's like, "I didn't order this." I'm like, "I didn't order this." And I even text my mom. I'm like, "Did you order a C2C to my house?" We were very confused. Okay, intention and what was the other thing you want to know?
Biggest win and what is your intention?
My biggest win today, I got two I got two workouts done today. Plus I went to an hour yoga. Plus I got my husband and my baby girl out for a walk this afternoon. So I had a huge, and I passed my step count like hours ago. I'm almost at 14,000. So I had a really good day that way. I'm getting a steroid injection in my knee tomorrow. So I kind of just wanted to bank a lot of stuff I needed to do so I can just kind of baby myself. tomorrow. And my intention for the year is kind of to carry on with, I'm really trying to do something that financially contributes to our household and still be happy. So I'm starting my yoga instructor course in March, and I'm really hoping to be teaching part-time or full-time, whether it's not like YMCA's or if I get on at a studio, because I really want to, I do need to go back to work and contribute, but I really want to be doing something that I'm happy doing. I don't want to go to a job that I'm absolutely hating every day and leaving my baby. So yeah, that's kind of my intention for the year, is to really finish up on that and get that done and start seeking a job.
Yeah, I think that's a solid intent. I think though the highlight I took from that is you want to do something that you love and that you enjoy, which I think is tremendously important. And I think more people need to do that nowadays. It's awesome.
I agree. Yeah. Thanks.
Peggy, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. So, my win for the day or this week or this month thus far, I guess you could say, is actually wrote down all my goals and vision for the end of 2025 and a letter to myself, and I sent them to Carson, my coach. So, it took me forever to do it, but I finally got through it. And I think it worked pretty good because I was just on a phone call with a friend before I got on this, and I was reading her my vision, and she's the one I sent my gratitude note to today. So she called me and I read my vision and, my end of the year goals and all that to her. And I was a blubbering mess. So like, must be good goals if I can hardly get through it without crying,
Let's say that's what they should feel like. Like
Yeah.
when I look at my vision board, it took me a whole month in December to make it. I get chills. I look at it every morning, like, whew, this is exciting. Right.
Yeah. And she's like I mentioned in my post today, she's a gold star friend. Like, got to keep her. She is A1, top of the list. She is part of my journey, for we figured 23 years now we've been friends. And she is going to be pivotal to have that kind of friend by my side as I move forward with my big scary goals for this year. But so my main goal is belief in myself.
I love
That's
that.
the big one.
I love that.
I don't think I need to say much more about that, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's a good one.
yeah.
All right. Let's go to Coach David. What's going on, bro? The man that will always look like he's 21. What's going on? So
Hello, everybody. I wasn't expecting to share anything, but listening to you all, my goal is to serve. I want to serve more people like you, and be. It's kind of a give and take relationship in a lot of ways, in the sense that I see you succeed and inspires me to want to reach out and help more people. And I'm sure you've all experienced that in your own circle of friends. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a feeling that you can't even really describe. And then I would say my theme of the year is to trust God more for me. Faith is a big thing for me, and I know that whenever I'm my most unhappy, it's because I'm just trying to control everything myself, and there's just so much out of our control. So I would say for me, just trust God.
I love that. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, dude. Even though I called you out, always get ready to speak when you're on my call. You don't know who I'm going to call out. For me, biggest win for me is I actually work with multiple coaches, and I actually saw one of my mentors today, and we just really discussed our progress. She's actually one of my, I've been seeing therapists for like most of my life, and she was a very specific one that's supposed to help me in translating myself and my own internal growth. And we just talked about the growth that I've gone through since meeting her a couple months ago till now. And she's just blown away. And I'm like, hell yeah, we're rocking it. We're rocking it. Mm-hmm. And my intention for this year is growth, big time growth, and in all areas. For me, it's just about being intentional and being the person you are meant to be to accomplish your goals. Whoever has your goals set up by the end of the year. Cool. Now, before we get into the Q&A part of Convos with Alex, I actually want to start off with a lesson for you guys. Usually I do like a little bit at the end if there's time, but I want to start it off because I think it's tremendously important. And that's actually reference to what Peggy mentioned, which is about goals and the letter to yourself. Now, why am I such a big believer in like vision boards, writing a letter to yourself, goals? Because what you put out there, what you communicate is always going to come back to you. Even if you don't accomplish all your goals, it's extremely important to like write them down and have that visual. It's like writing them down is like a commitment in a weird way to yourself. I had one goal. This was to speak on an international stage for a speaking event last year. And I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going to happen halfway through the year. And then in September, literally 3 days before I had to go to this event, they told me I was speaking on stage. And it was in Houston internationally. I'm like, well, I just accomplished my goal, right? But it would never have happened if I didn't put that intention and wrote it down, right? So intentions, planting those seeds are just so important when it comes down to your overall growth. And I want to share a few things with you guys here. So one of my own personal core values, and if you don't have core values, I definitely suggest you make them. And one of the core values of Limitless Coaching is unity. Now, what does unity mean? Unity means that we're all a collective force. What happens to one of us happens to all of us, right? We're all unified together and we all help each other in each other's growth together. That's why I think in the community, it is so important to share your journey, to communicate your struggles, to communicate your wins, and communicate what you want out of life, right? And I think that's so important. Like seeing Marie's post about like being up and crushing the morning routine, it's motivating to kind of see that kind of stuff. And just know that whatever you guys go through, we're here together as a collective, as energy to like really translate it into like our best selves. So unity is going to be an important theme in this community for this year going together. And that's why I encourage you guys, if you guys have done your vision boards, if you have written your letter to yourself, I encourage you to share your vision board or your story about what you want to accomplish in the group. Now, it's optional. You don't have to do it if you're uncomfortable with it. I totally get it. I'm a private guy myself. I don't like talking about some stuff, right? But we're here to support each other. And we're here to push yourselves to that other level. Like Cameron is a classic example. When I first met him, who would have thought that he would be owning his own business 3 years later and like chasing for his dreams and having his dream physique? He went through multiple relationships with me and him together, right? And just trying to discover himself as his best scenario. When I first met David 15 years ago, who would have thought me and him would be working together online, transforming lives, right? But I will remember at 21 in the back room, we would all be talking about our dreams and goals and what we want to hit. And the best part is all of us in that room are doing it. We're doing it now. But that would have never happened unless we shared our goals, our vision, what we want to chase. So these are a couple quotes that have really spoke to me, which I think is going to resonate with a lot of you guys. So there's 2 quotes. Trust the path, embrace the unknown, and let your faith guide your purpose. Now, what I mean by faith, it doesn't mean you got to believe in a creator, God, or a higher power. I mean faith in yourself. Trust that whatever goal that you make, it is scary to step into it because you don't know if it's going to happen. It's so out there. It's like, well, I'm shooting for the stars, but that's the whole point, is that you do shoot for the stars. And to know that if you don't take your shot, how are you supposed to know you're going to accomplish it, right? And it's such a crazy thing because like I think nowadays society, social media, they restrict what is possible. And let me tell you from the bottom of my soul, anything is possible if you're willing to put the work in. So trust the path, embrace the unknown, and take that step forward into fear. And if you don't know what to do, well, we got your back. We're here. We do it every damn day, starting with that morning routine that we're doing for the challenge. Second, faithful, disciplined, united. I grow with purpose and inspire transformation. Your story will change lives. Doesn't matter how small it is or how big it is. Sharing your story will inspire others to take action. And I'm a personal believer. One of the reasons why I really got into fitness and why I became a coach and what I've learned throughout it is that you matter. Who you are as a person matters to your family, your friends, your coworkers, people on the street, people in this community. Like just even just opening a door for someone can just change their whole day. It's crazy how much you can think about that, right? And just know that whatever your personal transformation is going to literally shift people in your day-to-day lives. The amount of people that I've inspired for my own fitness journey who've lost 70 pounds, lost 100 pounds. Even my dad dropped like 80 pounds at 78 years old. And he is a type 2 diabetic, went through a heart attack, had 2 minor strokes, right? He eats completely clean because he's like, you're doing it, I'm going to do it. Your journey matters. And don't be afraid to talk about it. And you're going to experience 2 things. There's going to be people that definitely dislike it, but those aren't your people. Those aren't your people. Why wouldn't they support you and what you're aiming for? Right? I've experienced that. Now, all those people that have like hate it, I'm like, you're out of my life. You aren't my people. But the second part is you're going to find out the people who truly love and support you. And when you step into that version who you're meant to be for this year, those people that are meant to be in your life are going to come in your life because you're going to be attracting that with that new energy that you have. And lastly, this is one I got from my mentor recently. Bulletproof in all areas. It spoke to me. I'm like, oh, this is giving me chills. And what does he mean by that? Well, he means by like being better 1% every day in some area of your life. I'm not talking about just fitness. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about your job, your business. I'm talking about in your house. Maybe you got to clean that little thing in the corner that you've been putting off for quite a while. Having hard conversations, right? Like life is meant to be lived abundantly, but you're only going to get it if you're willing to like go out and receive it at the same time. And just know that being in this community, you will receive and you will unlock your unlimited potential by just showing up. Don't have to do anything more than that. Just show up. And I can promise you, you will be incredibly surprised of what you're going to be able to accomplish by the end of this year. I can promise you that. All right, enough from me. Let's do some questions. All right, who's up first? Who would like to do it? Dustin, you're already on mic. You got anything to ask me? Yeah, I feel like your eyes are looking at me. It's probably because you're like the main guy on my screen right now. Like, what do you got for me? Come on.
Oh,
Give it to me.
man. I don't think I got any questions. I've been thinking about this for the past 5 minutes. Oh, but anyways, I just wanted to say that my parents are inspired to join a gym now, so this is working like crazy.
Huge. How cool is that?
It's amazing, like how many people you could inspire just by acting and doing the job,
Well, it's funny. People watch you all the time. They literally like watch and observe you. Like,
Yeah.
I got a 4-year-old at home, and I'm sometimes surprised about how much kids like observe you as a person. And like one day I was looking at my girlfriend, I'm like, man, like he's obnoxious. Where's he getting this from? She's like, that's you. I'm like, oh man, shit, that is me. All right. Dude, that's awesome. Proud of you. I
Thanks.
love it.
But yeah, I don't have any questions today.
Well, no worries. Oh, we got Sean in the house. Anna, what's up, girls? Thanks for coming in. Glad to see you. Hopefully you guys heard my speech earlier, but who has a question? Who wants some help? Peggy.
So I kind of hinted about it earlier. I have these big goals and I'm freaking scared. They scare the crap out of me, quite honestly. And I'm also tend to be a person who doesn't always really finish anything that I start. And so I'm just wondering if you could talk about, I know they're definitely related, obviously, but I had time to put that shit to bed and like just fucking do it. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
So there's a couple things I can mention to you. I think first off is habits and routines.
Mhm.
So what I would do is I would like take a look at like, okay, this is who Peggy is now.
Mhm.
This is who Peggy is when she accomplishes these goals. And what I want you to look at is I want you to look at the gap. Who's this
Mhm.
person now versus the person you are? And your goal is to adopt the person who accomplishes these goals. And what you got to think about is like, okay, what kind of habits is Peggy doing? What
Mhm.
kind of like rituals are you doing on a day-to-day basis? How are you living? How are you acting? What do you look like? How do you talk? How do you walk? And that's kind of like where your starting point is.
Mhm.
Uh, the best way I can put that is it's like uh, getting healthy, right? Right, getting in better shape. Well, if you're eating out every day, you're not going to get in good shape. So probably the first step that you need to do to get there is to slowly cut back on eating out a lot so you can get in better shape. So for you, you got to really look at and identify, okay, if I want to accomplish these big goals that really, really scare me, well, let me start small. Let's look at the long-term goal and work backwards of what it's exactly going to take. So that's where you want to start off with.
Okay.
Se-
Thank you.
You're welcome. Second thing is you want to start winning at something
Mm.
and you want to make it small. Small, but consistent enough where it can build momentum for yourself. It can be as simple as making your bed in the morning every day. Right? Don't do it for a month, but do it for like a week.
Yeah.
Right? Waking up at a certain time. Right? It could be anything like that. But I think it's just starting off with those wins. You know what?
Small
I'll
win.
give you I'll give you some homework for this.
Mhm.
In the Facebook group for the next 30 days, I want you to share a win every single day.
Okay.
All right? Anything you want for the next 30 days.
Thank you.
All right. But that way you can build a lot of momentum for yourself.
Hmm.
And then third is this is what I call deep inner work. Right. So a lot of our habits and who we are is based on the language, how we speak out.
Mhm.
Right. And second, it has to do with like it's what we call inner turmoil. It's just something that we do in our higher level program called Ascension. And we take a deep dive look and we can do some of this work on these calls with you when you keep coming back and back. It's like, okay, what do I need to shift inside me? And you got to ask yourself when you feel defeated, when you feel like you don't win, well, what do you feel?
Mhm.
That feeling is correlated to something that happened in the past that
Mhm.
caused you to feel defeated every single day. And for some people, it's as simple as, well, I wanted that toy and my mom smacked it out of my hand and she said, no way. And you're like, oh my God, that scarred me for life. Right. Other people have a little bit more, severe trauma. And like, this is what everyone goes through. Right. Everyone has like these is what we call them blind spots. And our goal here is to address them. They're like, I like to call them like energy pathways. It's like,
Mhm.
if you want to imagine your flow state is like in a straight line, right? And here you got all the things that are taking away from you from winning. It could be like self doubt, anger, self sabotage, maybe happiness, but maybe too much happiness in the wrong thing. And the goal here is to cut all of that up so you can be in a complete flow state. But you want to tackle it one at a time,
Mm.
right? So you want to think about, okay, I'm afraid of winning, but why? Why haven't I won yet? Like, where is this feeling coming from? And the more awareness you can bring around, why am I thinking this way? Why do I feel this way? 80% of transformations are just built on being self-aware of who you are as a person. That's from Psychology 101 right there.
I love it.
Yeah. So if you can develop that self-awareness, like, okay, why am I responding to this? Well, then you can change it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Mhm. So for
Thank you.
myself, I like to invest in like different kind of mindset coaches to help me with that. I've done hypnosis, I've done shadow work, inner child work, uh, you know, different counselors. Because to me, it's just like, well, if I'm looking at something and I'm not aware of it, well, I might as well seek some help for it. So for you, if you have a big lofty goals, that might be a consideration for you to do.
Yeah, maybe we can talk offline a little more about that because, yeah, I know I've been thinking about how I need a therapist and, there's definitely work that needs to be done.
Well, yeah, well, message me afterwards and then
Okay.
can't get back to you tonight because I have to hang out with the family after. But
Yeah, no
maybe,
worries.
maybe we can book a one-on-one call and we can discuss more and like point you in the direction that you need to hit your goal.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate
that was a good question. I like that. All right, who's next? Who has a good question? I feel someone else is itching. Oh, Alexis, what's up?
Yeah. So I don't know if I need help, but
Hmm.
so before I joined this program, I'd lost a bunch of weight by myself, but then I had a baby and I'm 49, and I tried to go back
No,
into
no,
my,
you're not. You look younger than 49.
oh, I'm going to be 50 this year.
Jesus.
And I had a
Good for
baby at
you.
48, which was planned, but still a lot of work. Um, so I tried to get back into my routine, and the weight wasn't coming off. And
Hmm.
the doctor says post menopause or premenopause, postpartum, like hormones are huge right now for you. Then I met Carson, and he said we can do this. So I'm what am I? I think I'm at 1650 calories. I am doing 150 grams of protein. Today I actually managed to get up to 180. I'm working out like a crazy person. And my body is definitely responding. Like I'm fitting into clothes that I've not fit into since before I was pregnant. People are like, wow, what are you doing? You look amazing. But here's the thing. I've only lost 4 pounds. Like my mind for success is really on my scale, and my scale doesn't seem to be moving, but my body is. So I don't know if I'm like, is it muscle I'm gaining? Like, why is the scale not reflecting what I think is happening when I look in the mirror and where other people see me? I don't know if
I think
does that make sense?
that's a really good question, and I guarantee other people on this call and the replay are struggling with the same thing.
Okay.
So, so it's different for everyone and their situation, but in fitness, when it comes to fat loss and weight loss, the one thing that we don't determine success by is the weight scale. Now, this is for a multiple of reasons, and especially being an older female, and you had a baby, hormones are the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
So postpartum, when you have a baby, hormones already all over the place, and everyone is a little bit different when they go through postpartum, and depending on the baby as well. Hormonally, so it will take a bit for your body to re-regulate and restructure itself. That's just how it is. And
Yeah.
then premenopause, now you got premenopause, and more hormones are going all over the place, right? So what happens when you have all these hormonal fluctuations, what typically happens is you go through a bit of metabolic slowing. Your metabolism will slow down a little bit. And that is very normal with this kind of stuff and with any kind of hormonal work. Now, something that I typically recommend for people that are going through that kind of stuff, blood tests is a big one to kind of get some blood tests done. You probably heard that from Carson. Uh, Endocrinologist is a really good one to kind of work with when it comes down to any kind of hormonal work to kind of see like a supplements or anything that that they can do to manage the symptoms. And then thirdly, yeah, you're probably putting on some muscle, which is a really, really good thing. And that's very good for metabolic health long term. And based on where you're at, you're going to benefit more long term from building strength and building muscle. Because when your hormones start to come down, you have all this foundation work, and then the body fat is going to start slipping off the body way easier and way quicker that way. And the difficult part is that when you go through something like menopause, lean muscle tissue will suffer a little bit. Metabolism suffers a little bit, and plus you got to go through all the symptoms and signs that come with it, right? So just trust the fact that is you're seeing results, and your results shouldn't be determined based on the scale, but based on how you look, how you feel, those inches, and those are, in my opinion, huge wins, especially if you're going through those two things at the same time.
Okay, perfect. I am on hormone therapy, and I've talked to my doctor tons of it. But yeah, I just wanted kind of your take on it.
And typically with someone with like any kind of like hormone regulation, they will have to do lower calories because of that, because of the metabolic slowing. That's just unfortunately how it is. And that's where we have to educate you on food choices and food selection. But the good news is you can make 1,600 calories feel like 3,000 calories with the right food choices as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty good on my food. Like I've always been good at that. And I just don't know if I can cut calories anymore and be present. You know what I mean? And
I
keep up
understand what you're
the
saying.
yeah, like keep up the, chasing a toddler and going to yoga and doing my workouts and cutting another 150 calories, I might hurt somebody.
I,
Right? If I don't get my protein bar with my tea at the end of the night, I did try today to cut some calories, but what I ended up doing is way increasing my protein.
Well, you know what? I understand it and I relate. I am also very hungry when I start to cut weight. So what I would do is like, why don't you message Carson? I think maybe we'll have a conversation of changing your plan. A fat loss phase might not be the best choice for you right now. What we can do is what we call a body recomposition, where
Okay.
we lose body fat, but we put on muscle and we get you strong. And that's going to
Okay.
give you tons more energy, especially with your baby. It's going to help your body long term, especially metabolically. And you'll probably see more inches drop and probably the scale drop a little bit as well.
Okay. All right. I was going to talk to Carson about it. So that's great. I will.
Well, Gabe, since you're paying attention, can you message Carson? Let him know.
I will.
Yeah. I'm going to get Dave to message him too. Otherwise, I forget. I have a horrible memory.
Okay. I will for sure do that.
All right. You got a question? Saw you on mic there.
I have a question. Oh, sorry, Mari. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Just taking advantage of Alexis, just a little spin-off. I noticed when I first started the program, I noticed, I kept my calories at 1900, and I noticed that my mood kind of changed. I was kind of like very short-tempered, and it took like a few months until I kind of put the pieces together that maybe it's a calorie deficit. But I noticed that only came off when I ate like some cereal, some like mini wheats at night. Calories were the same, but just the quality of food at night changed. I know that's not healthy long term, but that's what worked. The weight on the scale stayed the same. It was kind of frustrating. But the Buddha belly kind of went down a little bit. Do you have any feedback on that, Alex?
Yeah, actually, so that's actually a good point. So this brings up like very specific nutrition. Everyone responds differently to food. It's completely crazy. Like we can give someone, let's say, a donut, they won't get bloated, and then someone else with a donut, and they like their guts out to here. I'm one of those people. Like anything like refined or processed, even like aspartame from Coke, I'm like, whew, it looks like I'm pregnant right now, or I'm from the bloat, right? But that's actually good news, right? So for you, your body response to insulin response must take it pretty well, right? So the general rule of nutrition is if 80% of your diet is pretty healthy in terms of whole nutrient dense foods, you can be pretty flexible with the rest and be very healthy at the same time. So if you feel like it's doing good for your body and making those changes, I say keep it going.
Okay, so it's okay to eat cereal for dinner. I love cereal, so
I love cereal
it doesn't
too.
bother me. So,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's my go-to.
ooh, that's my favorite.
Peggy.
Can I just add something to that for Mary, please? My breakfast of choice years ago used to be Cheerios with milk and sliced bananas.
Ooh.
And I would get the shakes and be hangry, and like it would just, I finally realized it's not the right food for me. So I wonder if playing around with what cereal you're having might make a difference. Just a suggestion.
Oh, okay. I've never thought about that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll experiment. Yeah, that's a good
You can
idea.
You can even grab some protein powder nowadays. They call it cereal milk protein powder, and you can actually mix it in as your cereal with it as well. There's a good brand by David might know it. You know what I'm talking about, the cereal brand. You want to put it in the chat box for Marie. That might make a difference in terms of the insulin response to the cereal as well.
I love cereal, and if I ate cereal, I wouldn't hit my protein level. But I actually discovered this is truly, oh, let's get the English side, truly cereal. That they sell at some health food stores, and it is 18 grams of protein, and it's only 150 calories and 1 gram of sugar.
Do you like it? I don't like it.
I do like it. So I've learned to like it because like I would eat my like I love all brown. I'd have all brown, but then I would have to like massively have protein the rest of the day because I wasn't hitting my breakfast protein. So I struggled, but I just needed that crunch. I need that, like my brain needs to think it's having a bit of cereal. So that's the best bang for my buck.
Nothing wrong with that. You can even add some like if anyone likes sweets, if you go to the store, there's a 0-calorie sweetener of stevia, which is brown sugar. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I prefer Sugar Twin, but yeah, stevia does well as well. Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Marie?
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
No, can you just repeat about the insulin? I didn't quite catch
Yes.
that.
So sometimes people have a poor response to insulin. So what happens when you eat carbohydrates? There's a hormone called insulin in your body, and that insulin hormone spikes up. And usually when it comes down, that's where people get like that sugar crash. So if you ate a bunch of carbohydrates and it crashes down, you feel typically super tired. Naps are a thing. And sometimes when people have that super high insulin response, their response to it can be pretty negative sometimes towards that. But that will fix itself as you lose body fat, right? As you lose more body fat, as you lose weight, like your insulin response will start to regulate, will start to become normal. So that's pretty normal to see. So I would say like if you're going to have cereal late at night, which I don't see an issue with it that you do, have a protein source with it as well, and that'll kind of even itself out.
Okay.
Good question, though. I haven't had that one in a long time. That was a good one. Anna.
Yeah. My question was on creatine. I browse social media. I can't remember where I saw it. So I take creatine because for the last year, my creatine levels were really, really low.
Okay.
And I was struggling with increasing weight. I was actually having to drop. And I read one of your posts where you recommended a specific type of, I think it's monoglycerin or something.
Creatine monohydrate.
Yes, monohydrate. And so I went ahead and bought it, and I've noticed a good difference. But somewhere when I was looking through social media, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that it sometimes makes you retain water, so the scale might show heavier at times. And I wondered if there's any truth behind that because I feel different, but I don't. I've dropped some weight slower than I'd like, but I don't see a whole lot of difference. Carson says he can tell a difference, but maybe I'm too critical. And even though I try not to focus too much on the scale, it still bums me out.
Yeah,
But
I look
it
at
made
mine
me
every
wonder
morning.
if maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. Any truth behind it?
Good question. So creatine monohydrate is the #1 research supplement in the world, and it's very healthy to take. Not everyone needs it, so if you need to take it, that's okay. So what creatine does, it saturates the muscle with more ATP. So ATP is energy in the body, and it does that through water, through osmosis, right? Now the reason for that is your muscles are 80% water. So the more ATP, the more glycogen, the more water gets in the muscle, the more it's going to saturate. And that's a really, really good thing. That's a very positive thing. So does creatine cause water retention? It can, because how long have you been taking it for?
I was taking it probably in the last year, but I stopped for a couple months and I've started, I would say consistently the last month and a half.
Okay, so that's pretty normal to see water retention at the beginning for that. It will regulate itself out. And the best way to regulate that water retention is by drinking lots of water,
Okay.
getting your fluid intake in, and also with working out, because now you got to use it.
Yeah.
And that will balance your body out super, super well.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious about that. So thank you.
You're welcome. That's a good question. All right. Any more questions? Oh, Dustin with a question. I've been waiting for you.
Okay, I do have a question for
Yeah.
you. Because it's not typical to lose 6 pounds in 1 week, could you expect to see that again, or would it go down to 2 pounds maybe?
You're not going to see it again. And the reason why is when you eat over the holidays and you're eating a ton of carbohydrates, a ton of sodium in food, your body will retain water. So that 6 pounds is water, mostly water that you lost.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So you probably didn't even put on a lot of body fat. Most of it's probably just water.
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. Like water retention for people, how people respond to it is pretty crazy. That's why we say that if you have like a free meal or you have that holiday dinner, don't get caught up on the scale the next day because it's going to go up. It's just water retention.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for every 1 pound of body fat, roughly it's 3,500 calories, right?
Okay.
So if we got 6 pounds, I'm gonna calculate that out for you. You would have to consume 21,000 calories to put on 6 pounds of body fat. Do you think you ate that over the holidays?
No,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't think so.
Dustin,
Yeah.
I bloat so badly. I am such a good girl, and then I will go out and I will split a burger with my husband and have like a beer or a glass of wine. I gain 5 pounds overnight instantly. It's brutal. But yeah, that's exactly how my body works. Like and I'm like, there's no way I gained 5 pounds. It's not physically possible, but yeah, that happens to me too. And then if you just get, I did that at Christmas. I gained a bit of weight at Christmas. It all fell off in like 5 days of getting back to my workouts and my water.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So it'll start to slow down a little bit, which is normal. But use that energy, use that momentum, and let's get you a 6-pack by the end of March.
I don't know if I'll have that by then, but definitely by July.
We can do it by the end of March. What do you think, David? You think we can get him a 6-pack by the end of March?
Yeah, absolutely can. He's been on point, and his nutrition has been on point. Same with his steps, so definitely very doable.
Yeah, right there, dude. You just got 15, maybe 20 pounds more to lose. You'll start to see abs.
I'll get there. I'm
Yeah, it's
determined.
based on your pictures. You can do it by the end of March. What do you mean you'll get there? You can do it.
Let's go.
I like it. I like it. All right. Any more questions? No, we're good. We're all good. We're all served. All right, good news. All right. Cameron, you good? Any questions for you?
I don't know. I'm feeling I like being in my feels. Like everyone knows in this freaking community. I just want to love on Peggy. I heard in her voice that she was feeling doubt and stuff. And I just want you to know that you're already winning. You're already fucking doing the things that you want to do, and like your goals are gonna come because you're already doing the thing that we're supposed to do. So that's it, because I love being in my feels and stuff, and I just wanted to give her a shout out. So
Thank
Yeah.
you, Pam. Thank you.
yeah, I got you.
Marie, you can go ahead.
Yes, with the creatine, does it with it pumping more nutrients into the muscle and water, would it help with muscle repair?
David, what do you think? The science on creatine for that? You know more than me.
Yeah, it definitely helps with recovery. It's very slight, but realistically, everyone should be taking creatine to a certain degree, especially with the new research. And there's more research coming all the time. And unfortunately, there also is a small amount of people that are non-responders, very small, like 5%. But yeah, it will help with recovery.
Okay.
That's it for the call. Well, thank you for coming to Convos with Alex. I'm actually going to be putting a poll up later this week as well. We might change the time of the call, right? Because I want to get as many people on here as possible. But we'll vote on it. If you want the call to stay on Wednesday, you can vote to stay on Wednesday. Otherwise, we might do it Saturday morning, right? One of the two, right? Whichever is easier for people. And eventually, the goal this year is to do these twice a week instead of just once a week as well, right? So thank you guys for coming to the first call of the year. I hope you guys have the best evening ever, and we'll catch y'all in the group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Share your biggest takeaways, guys.
Pump it up.